Shalom, first and foremost, I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bashim, Shai, Bashim, Kodash, the glorious of apostles and elders and great millstone, salutation to the elect, scattered across the four corners of the good. My name is Brother Bara. I'm here with another quick lesson. Pray that it's edifying to the spirit, right? This article here is Trump confirms the use of U.S. military in Venezuela among options on the table, right? Options of sending the U.S. military to Venezuela is on the table, while talking to President Nicolas Maduro is not President Donald Trump said in an interview on Sunday. So in other words, the dialogue is not on the table, right? But war is on the table, right? While talking to CBS Face the Nation, Trump would not expand on the prospects of military involvement in a crisis in the Latin America country, besides replying that it's an option. He also confirmed that he refused to talk to President Maduro when he suggested a meeting a few months ago. According to Trump, there is no point in talking to Venezuela's elected president because we are very far along the process. And there are horrible things happening in the country, such as poverty, anguish, and crime. You have a young and energetic gentleman, but you have other people within the same group that have been very, very, if you talk about democracy, it's really democracy in action, Trump said, right? This is the hypocrisy of the devil, right? There's Washington jumped in with its support of Juan Guaido, the head of the opposition-controlled National Assembly, who declared himself an interim president almost 2 weeks ago, while U.S. allies on the continent and in Europe have backed Guaido. Russia, Mexico, Turkey, and a number of other countries urged dialogue and little international involvement in Venezuela's internal affairs. Russian President Vladimir Putin said the political crisis in the country was caused by a destructive external interference that grossly violates the most basic norms of international law. Because America, basically what it did is put fire on top of fire below by what sanctions in the first place, so that Maduro couldn't conduct business to provide for his people, right? So, because Maduro represents socialism or nationalism, his people, right? But because these devils, they what? They're all about greed, and they whine their philosophy, which is democracy. So anybody who resists democracy, eventually they're going to find a way to take them down because they don't get the profit from their nation. Venezuela is basically a self-sustaining nation, a very rich, with the highest oil reserves in the country, in the world, Salakia, and plenty of gold and other minerals, right? And these devils want to get a piece of that pie. There's speculation about the U.S. sending troops to deal with the situation in Venezuela peaked after U.S. National Security Advisor John Bolton was photographed holding a yellow legal notebook during a press briefing that said 5,000 troops to Colombia. The White House would not expand on the matter, while Bogota said it had no clue what it meant and that it would act only politically and diplomatically with its neighbors. U.S. spy planes, however, were noticed flying over Colombia last week. Besides supporting Guaido in the international arena, the U.S. also promised $20 million in humanitarian aid to Guaido's government and gave the opposition leader access to Venezuelan assets held in the U.S. bank. Bolton also said that Maduro's government should get out of the way as the U.S. delivers this aid. Washington slapped sanctions on the state-owned oil company Venezuela, which in the state-owned oil company, Venezuela, which saw hyperinflation last year, is dependent on oil revenues, and the collapse of the price of oil, along with the government's mismanagement, put the country in dire financial situation. Over 3 million people flee. This is Habakkuk chapter 1, chapter verse 2. It says, O Yahweh, how long shall I cry, and thou wilt not hear? Even cry out unto thee of violence, thou wilt not save. And this is what we see, the earth is filled with violence. And really and truly is filled with violence by the devil that rule it. Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. And it's also reminiscent of what the days of Noah. The earth was also filled of violence, and then what? Judgment came. Because the cry came up to the people who was crying. Noah was crying, and his family. They were the 8 souls that was found righteous. Ezekiel 9:4 says what? Go into the midst of the city, into the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon them that cry, that sigh and that cry for all abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Right? So that mark is what we know is the mark of exemption from judgment, because the Most High is going to bring forth judgment. This is the gathering and the mustering of the troops, right? The mustering of the battle. This is what the Most High. The battle is going to take place in what? The Valley of Jehoshaphat in the Middle East. But all this is going to add up, culminate to the whole series of events which is about to happen, which is what? The passing of the RFID chip, the toppling of this government, everybody knowing that the so-called white man and his democracy is poison, is lies. They make laws and they make rules and they don't live by them, right? They break every treaty that they have. They broke the INF treaty that they had with Russia, and we're now into a Cold War and an arms race, right? Because these devils, they can't be trusted. The scripture in Isaiah, not Isaiah, Sirach talks about what? Never trust thy enemy, as iron rusted, so is their wickedness, right? Sirach chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thy enemy, for as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his wrath had not been altogether wiped away. So you know he's saying all options on the table. What is the true option of America? To what? To send the military in to usurp the rightful ruler, which is Nicolas Maduro. But guess what? The judgment is coming upon the Venezuelan people, so-called Venezuelan people, because we know them according to the scriptures to be what? Asher, right? It's because of the wicked idolatry and the whoredoms against Yahweh Shem Yahushai, their power, right? That is why they're being troubled. That is why this nation is being troubled. But in the whole scheme of things, you know, is the judgment of the Most High is about to come down. Right? On whom? America, which is Babylon the Great, and Esau and Edom, the elites of that nation. Right? This is going back to Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3. Why doest thou show me iniquity and cause me to behold grievance? For the spoiling and violence are before me. And this is what we see in Matthew 24, verse 7 says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Right? Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and he shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And this is what we see, because simultaneously we have the defamation of the Hebrew Israelites. They're being called black Hebrew Israelites. We've been put forth as what? Darkness and not as light. So they are the true lights. We've been demonized as being a hate group and using hate speech. But what happened in the time of slavery? Before, during, and after slavery, right? Up to this day, the word nigger is being used as a derogatory term. We being called so-called African Americans, West Indians, Spics, niggers. That is hate speech. And who is calling us that? What? These Edomites, these other nations, right? Because what? The so-called white man, they oppress a man and his heritage. They don't let the world. They they would be sort set up to take us down for what the abomination that we did against our power, right? But they didn't let the world know why we went into slavery. They didn't let the world know who went into slavery. The nation of Israel is still up to this day refused to let the world know that we are the nation of Israel, right? And they're going to be found when Yahushua comes back to be in many offenses because we were stolen from our land and we're going to be found in their hands, right? On the top of that, they're going to try to what to mark his people, the people of Yahweh Shemi Yahushua. So they're going to be judged for that, right? All this, what we see here is the build up for war. These people here, the Edomites, right? These devils, right? They're all about violence and crime and what covetousness. Going on Habakkuk chapter 1, verse 4. Therefore the law is slack, and judgment do it never go forth. For the wicked do it compass about the righteous. Therefore wrong judgment proceeded. Right? And when we read about the fourth beast in Surah chapter second Ezra chapter 11, it says they rule with what violence and with deceit, right? And oppression, much wicked oppression. It's this devil, right? Because they created this situation where Nicholas Maduro could not provide for his people now, and then now they're setting up a usurper, which is what Juan Guaido, so that they can come in and take the natural resources and benefit from that nation, right? Put democracy in there, the philosophy of the devil, right? The wine of the devil, and these people are going to suffer more. But it's all praises to Yahweh Shemi Yahushua, because 2/3 of our people have to be destroyed for the wickedness, nevertheless. This is all prophecy being fulfilled. It says, behold, among the heathen, it says, and regard and wonder marvelously, for I will work a work in your days which ye will not believe, though it be told you. Are the saints telling you that the Most High is doing this judgment? This judgment upon Venezuela, right? Because of the wickedness, right? It says, Venezuela against Ukraine. U.S. National Security Advisor John Bolton tweeted cynically this week that he wishes Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro to take retirement on a nice beach somewhere far away. This man was elected 2 weeks ago. He was elected rightfully as the president of Venezuela. And 2 weeks after that, Juan Guaido stepped up and said that he is the president of Venezuela. Right? And he has what the support of the US and the US allies. This is pure wickedness. These international powers have nothing to do with any internal affairs, but Juan Guaido was set up. And he's against his people. Right? Maduro is against his people because he's not for Yahweh Shemi Yahushua, nevertheless. But you know, Juan Guaido is even worse, because he is what? He is basically a Judas. He's just selling them out to what? Esau. Scripture say, why trimmest thy way to seek love? Right? These Edomites, these bankers just want to get their hands into your resources to covet it unto their own selves. Says the U.S. National Security Advisor John Bolton tweeted cynically this week that he wishes Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro take retirement on a nice beach somewhere far away. Meanwhile, in Nassau, Washington, and its Western allies have denigrated the Venezuelan government as a mafia regime and a kleptocracy. Right? These are who is the real kleptocracy? The Americans and the Europeans. Because before all this, Maduro was asking for his gold, and the Europeans they was hesitant to give him his gold, and then what? They seized his gold across there in the Bank of Europe, and they seized his assets in the US. Right? Because what they do, they are devils, they are liars, they are thieves. There's Psalm chapter 58, verse 3, chapter 2. Yea, in heart He worked wickedness. Right? The heart means what? The mind. So all we see is a subtle move to get into this nation and get its resources. Right? Ye in heart, ye work wickedness in the way, ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. Right? Because really and truly, you have US troops already deployed in Colombia, as it was reported and confirmed. Right? They're on the ground in Colombia. So this war, it may have a war over there, proxy wars, because it says it's going to be wars and rumors of wars. All these little proxy wars, but it's gonna add up to these nations seeing how wicked America is. It's on the forefront. Nobody can deny it anymore. The Most High said in Isaiah 47 is that the He's gonna make that leg bare, right? Which means he's gonna what? Lift up his skirt and reveal the nakedness of this devil. This is Isaiah 47:1. Come down and sit in the dust, which is confusion, O virgin daughter of Babylon. This is America because you've never been touched. There's never been any major war in your land. Never really had a real terrorist attack because what? 9/11 was staged, right? It says, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate, right? Meaning he was untouched. War is going to come, destruction is going to come to Babylon. Take the millstone and grind meal, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not be thee as a man. Thy shame shall be seen. All these nations are seeing your hypocrisy and your lies, your covetousness and your wickedness. You know, the Most High is going to use these nations to come and will take you down as well. You know, this is Nahum chapter 3 verse 5. Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show thee, and I will show the nations thy nakedness and the kingdoms thy shame, and I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and make thee vile, and I will set thee as a gazing stock. The Most High is going to burn Babylon down. He's doing it already spiritually through what? Through the saints. We are out here highlighting the wicked atrocity, but hey, they have watchmen out there that hey, they're in the spirit. They're exposing the wickedness of America from the Food and Drug Administration, the World Health Organization, your Center of Disease Control, right? The GMO foods you push out there, right? Your food programs that pump in what? Poison into the children. What your Infomil, your government has food programs for what? For newborns, Infomil, right? Your Infomil, your these things that they pump into the children, making their brains what high, you're making their bodies what highly mineralized, right? Causing what? The children to be docile, dumb, sedated, right? Your fluoridated water, your GMO foods, poisoning the bodies of the people to have control over them, to reap what? Free, or to reap what basically slave labor, right? Because it's just about control. It's about controlling the masses and getting that slave labor for you coveting riches that's to sit upon your wealth and for you to live lavishly because the earth is given into your hand. This is your blessing. The sword and the earth at this time, it's given into your hand to rule, but you're doing a poor job. And the Most High is going to take it away from you. Right? He's making it known why he's doing it. Because the Lord said, what? My glory I will give to no other. Because when the destruction come, when Babylon is buried, when the cauldron, right? Which is the land of America, right? Is lit up. And what? And the meat in the cauldron is going to be what? Or the fuel in the cauldron is going to be what? The flesh, right? Because the Most High is going to set missiles to destroy and burn up this wicked kingdom, right? He's letting the nations know why through what? Through his saints, right? His glory is not going to give to any other. Going back to Psalm 58, verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear. which will not hearken to the voice of the charmers charming ever so wisely. And who the charmers? The saints, right? Let's break their teeth, O power, and their mouth break out the great teeth of the young lion, O Lord. So a young lion, the power of the lion is what his teeth. So that goes back to what the military might of America, right? That what made America superpower, military might, and what they were forced to get what atomic nuclear energy, right? But guess what? The Most High, he leveled the tables that these nations have that technology too. That's why it says in Isaiah 14, as thou become as weak as we, right? And you're gonna be destroyed. Going back to Habakkuk. Matter of fact, let me read a little bit more. It says these are all attempts to blackmail, intimidate, and vandalize Venezuela into submitting to a criminal regime change planned for the South American country. So this is it. This is the nation. This is the Lord making you bear. This is the Lord making these nations aware of your wickedness. On the coming board, Jeremiah starts above. It says, yea, Isaiah 56 and 11. Yea, they are greedy dogs which can never have enough. And they are shepherds that cannot understand. They all look to their own way, everyone for his gain from his quarter. Yeah, that's these devils. This is what they're about. All these nations want to get a hand into what Venezuela. Venezuela has the highest oil reserves in the world. Let me see if I can pull that up. Venezuela, then Saudi Arabia, then Canada, then Iran, then Iraq, then Kuwait, then United Emirates. Venezuela, 300,870. No, sorry, 300,878,000 barrels. Well, however you pronounce it, right? Saudi Arabia, Canada, so on and so forth, right? I'm about to get confused with that. This is what America wants to get their hands on. This is what Europe wants to get their hands on. This ultimately is what the elites, the bankers want to get their hands on. Venezuelan oil. The Venezuelan oil, and besides the oil, they have gold and other natural resources. This is what they want to get their hands on. Right? This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse let me start at verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. The just shall live by his faith. Right? So whose soul that is lifted up is not right. Esau. Right? Because watch, it says these are all attempts to blackmail, intimidate, vandalize Venezuela into submitting to a criminal regime, right? Head by Juan Guaido, the US puppet, for a plan for South American country. There is no doubt what's going on here is another criminal interference in the internal affairs of a sovereign nation by the United States and its European lackeys. And yet these arrogant actors have the cheek to accuse Russia of interfering in Western democracies, right? You know, they calling it pot calling kettle black. You're saying that Russia interfered with what the US election, right? They did something with the votes. Yet still outright blatantly, look what you do into Venezuela. You support a usurper, a man commit treason, right? You support him and protect him, and you give him the nation's money. You withhold the rightful ruler money, but you have no right to do that because what? Hey, anyway, it's all in the power of Yahweh Shemel Shai. What is the astounding thought that despite the Venezuelan maneuver being so blatantly obvious, the Western so-called news media have the audacity to give the orchestrated development as a veneer of credibility, and the abject civility of supposed Western journalism is pathetic. But I'll go back to the scriptures. It says, Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him which is Esau, but he shall live, but the just shall live by his faith. Yea, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man. Neither keepeth him, neither keep it at home. Yeah, stay in America and deal with your affairs. Deal with your internal revenues. Deal with your internal infrastructure that failing, right? Who enlarged his desire as hell and as death. So there's hell and death upon the Venezuelan people. They can't live because of the sanctions and the tariffs that America set upon them before and now after. And then what? They take the money and give it to who? The enemy. Well, the person that they set up, which is really an enemy, which is really a Judas, one Guaido, right? They cannot be satisfied, but gathered unto them, unto him all nations, and heaped unto him all people. So they want to heap what? Venezuela onto what? Democracy. To what? To control them finances, to control the oil, to control the gold and natural resources. They're greedy, they're proud, they're wicked. They're not listening to the charmers. Judgment is coming. It says, let me get this precept real quick. This is Revelation chapter 20, verse 14. It says, and death and hell will cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death, because this is how they're going to be destroyed by what the ICBM, nuclear war, World War III. That's why they're going to be cast into the lake of fire by the destruction of the Edomite man, the military, right? And the rest of the nation are going to be caught in Babylon, right? The elite's going to be saved because they're going to be down in the bunkers and they're going to be the first batch of slaves, right? Revelation chapter 6, verse 8. Let me get that really quick. Some basic precepts. It says, and I looked and behold, a pale horse. You know that pale horse represents Esau, and horse represents power, right? So that is what the military might also. And his name that sat on him was death and hell, right? And followed with him, and the power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with the sword and with hunger. This is what they're doing. You know, Donald Trump saying what? The war is very bad. He using what? There are people who hungry, there are people starving, the Venezuelan people have no money, so on and so forth, but America causing that. The Edomites causing that, the bankers causing that, the elite, the Illuminati, so called. The enlightened ones. It says, and power was given unto him over the fourth part of the earth to kill with the sword, the military, the might, the guns, the missiles, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. Right? So this was happening. Orchestrated, it's all orchestrated. It says, going back to Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 6, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to them that increase that which is not his. How long? You know, Venezuela doesn't belong to you, right? The nation, the Asherites don't belong to you. You're going to cut, the world doesn't belong to you. You're going to try to what? Pass the RFID chip to what? To put everybody underneath your submission, as a mark of your submission, to give you some form of spirituality. The nation, the world don't belong. The nations, the world don't belong to you. The people, the ethnos, the ethnicity, right? They don't belong to you. We belong to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, right? It says, want him that increased that which is not his, how long? And to him that laded himself with thick clay, a great debt, because you know you shut down your government. But prior to that, 2008 till now, or probably before 2008, your debt is in the trillions with these nations, primarily with China, right? So thick clay goes back into debt. You shut down your government, and guess what? The debt continued to rise. What, 2017, I think it was, into 18 or what? They had to raise your debt ceiling and all this kind of bullshit to keep your government afloat. Continue what? Printing money, paper money that has no value. We see what they're doing with the Bolivia and Venezuela. They'll show you an article with a man making baskets and craft with the Bolivia money. The Bolivar, sorry. you know, and that's what's coming to America. That paper ain't gonna be shit to show that in I am legend. You're gonna be able to just use it to wipe your ass, and even that's gonna be duty. Slap here. It says, "Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them, because thou hast spoiled many nations," right? Or the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood and for violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein, right? Because of that violence, you're going to be judged, right? And the Most High is not going to just stay quiet forever. Don't think the Most High, he asleep or far off. But it's not the prophets of Baal here. We are the prophets of Yahweh Shimi Shai, and he says his eyes upon a sinful kingdom, right? This is Isaiah 33 and 1. It says, "Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled." America has not been spoiled, right? Nobody has gone into that land and taken what they want, like all America is going into different lands and taking what they want and usurping. It says, "And dealest treacherously." This is a treacherous deal, right? This is a treacherous deal. Anyone with an open mind knows that in Venezuela it's a classic demonstration of the motive and means for a regime change. The motive is Venezuela's vast natural oil wealth, believed to be the biggest known reserve of hydrocarbons on the planet, augmented to the fact that it is the country that has governed. It is to the fact that factor is the country has been governed for the past 20 years by socialist administration, committed to developing the well-being of the nation. Instead of pandering to Western capitals, present economic woes are due to years of American sanctions or financial welfare. It says, as for means, the events of Venezuela are following the US playbook for regime change used in countless other countries, most notably Ukraine. You see, the Most High make you bare. The Most High uncover the nakedness. It's plain to see. You're the devil that the Bible speaks of. Washington has bankroll opposition groups, right? But that means basically what they do, basically what you see they do one Guaido. For one Guaido. They put a stay on the money, that Maduro can't get the money internationally, he can't get the gold, he can't support the people, right? And they take the money and they give permission to who? To Juan Guaido to use. Right? For him to have the power, because money is power in this time. The scripture says money is a defense. I think I saw an article where they said that one of the chief he was in like the air wing of the military, the Venezuelan military. He left from Maduro's side and he went across onto Juan Guaido's side because Juan Guaido have the money. It says Washington has bankroll opposition groups, some of which have neo-fascist tendencies, using violence, sabotage, and murder to destabilize the country. The opposition figure, 35-year-old Juan Guaido, and his far-right Popular Will Party have been trained by American CIA for this very moment. According to investigative journalism or journalist Max Blumenthal, from recent obscurity, Guaido has been catapulted, or that means shut up, onto the international stage by dubious American political and media support. Exalted as a democratic champion, even though his neo-fascist fringe group has been involved in hundreds of killings, including against Venezuela security forces. Right? This week, Juan Guaido, who declared himself interim president, claimed that his wife and family were intimidated by Venezuelan security forces. It was an unconfirmed claim, but widely aired by Western media outlets. You know, Western media is what propaganda machine, right? They play on the minds of the weak people, the vassals. Then right on cue, the Trump White House responded by saying there would be serious consequences for Venezuelan government of the elect President Nicolas Maduro further on cue, Guaido then hinted he would accept U.S. military intervention for protection. This is a close replay of what happened in Ukraine 2014. The elected president of that country, Viktor Yanukovych, was demonized and delegitimized by the relentless Western media campaign, while violent neo-Nazi groups, bankrolled and trained by the CIA, were lionized as pro-democracy movement. Right? So going back to Isaiah 33 and 1, woe to you that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. It says, when thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, right, they shall deal treacherously with thee. Right? So this is a treacherous. A matter of fact, one Guaido is committing treason, and he's not being held accountable because he's protected by the devil that the Bible speaks of. This is Isaiah 13 and 11. And I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked, which is Esau, for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud, which is Esau, to cease. Because the scripture says what, he's a proud man. Right? He did not keep it at home. I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. Right? He will not lay low the haughtiness. And I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible, which is Esau, the terrible in this place. Going back to Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 8. Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee. Because of men's blood, plenty blood is being shed. Because prior to all this, when all these sanctions and tariffs was laid upon Venezuela, when Maduro couldn't provide for the people, or can't provide for the people from its inception, what they had uprising, crime. They can't eat. Crime increases is directly proportional. Right? They can't support your family. Right? Prostitution. Everywhere, every country I see these Venezuelans, which is spiritually Asha, go. It's these women, they what? It's the prostitution. You have articles that we brought out 2016 to 2017 when teachers, doctors, lawyers, nurses were saying that they had to take the degree to the brothels to get a job, to be hosts, to sell their ass, right? To get food to eat, right? And the money that I was making was below minimum wage, right? This is what the so-called white man has caused. The blood and the death of many families, right? You see behind the scene footage of people starving. You would think Venezuela have what? In some of these pictures they see people looking like they're in what a so-called Hamitic country, African country. You know. It says because thou hast spoiled many nations, and remember the people shall spoil thee because of men's blood. As for the violence of the land and of the city and of all that dwell therein, woe unto them that coveted an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. Right? This is Habakkuk chapter 1, verse 5. Behold, ye among the heathen, and regard and wonder marvelously, for I work in those days which ye will not believe, though it be told you. And you know, it's being told to you by who? The elect, by the saints. Right? The prophets are Yahweh Shem Yahushai, that the Most High is doing this work, because really and truly judgment upon these two-thirds, upon Israel, for what? Their whoredoms. Right? These people not turning to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Where's Jesus Christus right now? He's saving you. You're being judged. Right? Jesus Christus is not hearing you. Right? Because sure you're crying out. You're saying you Hail Mary and all the mother abominable prayers. You're doing your Brahia and the Santeria, or however they call it, but the witchcraft. And it's not helping you. But it was in your moods and in your drugs, your gun, right? your so-called power was protecting you, but now he is protecting you from your judgment, right? Because there's a demon manifesting onto you. Your nation, the nation of Israel are going off. You have to turn back to your power, you have to repent. It's Isaiah 1 and 17. Isaiah 1 and 17. It says, Lord, to do well, seek judgment, relieve the oppressed, judge the fatherless, plead. The widow come now and let us reason together. Saith Yahweh, though your sins be like scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. Though they be like crimson, they shall be as wool. If ye be willing and obedient, ye shall eat the good of the land. But if ye refuse and rebel, ye shall be devoured with the sword, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken it. And you'll be devoured with the sword, right? Hopefully there is war. This is one of the wars that are going to lead up to World War III, the culmination of the whole um, destruction of Babylon, right? The 2/3 of Europe will be destroyed. But I will raise up the Chaldeans, a bitter and nasty nation, which is America, which shall march through the breadth of the land to possess the dwelling places that are not theirs. Right? They're trying to possess Venezuela, and Venezuela is not theirs. Right? They're terrible and dreadful. Their judgment and their dignity shall proceed of themselves. And this is it. It says they are terrible and dreadful, and their judgment and their dignity shall proceed of themselves. And this is what you're seeing right here. Read the article here in Sputnik News highlighting that. Right? Anyone with an open mind knows that Venezuela is a classic demonstration of the motive and means for a regime change. The motive is Venezuela's vast natural oil wealth, believed to be the biggest known in reserves in the hydrocarbons on the planet. So you're seeing it. Their reputation precedes them. It says they are a terrible and dreadful nation. Dreadful, their judgment and their dignity shall proceed of them. Their horses are also swifter than leopards, and they are more fierce than even wolves. Their horsemen shall spread themselves, and their horsemen shall come from far. They shall fly as an eagle, which is another identification. This is America, whose standard is the eagle, which goes back to Rome. Right? And hasten to eat. They shall fly as an eagle, and hasten to eat Salakia. They shall come all for violence, their faces shall suck as the east wind, and they shall gather the captivity as the sun. Right? So with that, I pray the lessons that we find and give all praise and say, how Hashem Yahushai, Hashem Kodash, to the elect. Shalom, peace and safety to your families. Right? To the next video, shalom.